I'd like to thank you all for coming in today to talk a little bit about Sony Crackle. How many of you here have actually heard of Crackle? All right, great. Sounds like most of you have. But for those of you who haven't, we actually fall underneath the Sony Pictures Entertainment umbrella. As you can see, we're part of some of the best production facilities in the world, whether it be Sony Pictures Television, shows like Breaking Bad, Rescue Me, Damages, Sony Music, the largest record label in the world, artists such as Beyonce and Justin Timberlake, Sony Pictures Entertainment, the movie studios, when you're talking about movies such as The Amazing Spider-Man 2, the Bond series, Smurfs, etc. And then last but certainly not least, Sony PlayStation. I'm sure you've heard of some of the successes that we've been having with the PlayStation 4 network and the release of PlayStation 4. So we're excited about all things PlayStation moving forward as well. As you can see, world-class content is what we do, and Crackle falls underneath of that world-class content umbrella. Sony Pictures Television portfolio. So as you can see, we're actually a global footprint. We have standing television networks in every country around the world, except for the U.S. In North America. North America is actually the only place where we don't have a standing television network. Crackle is that network. We're producing content every single day for Crackle as it sits as our North American quote-unquote television network. So now what we're doing, Crackle is a perfect example of building networks for the new living room. The living room today looks very different than it did a year ago. And to help better understand what that living room looked like, we actually commissioned a study with Frank Maggots and Associates to help analyze what the new living room looks like, as well as where the trends are going for the next year to 5 years down the road, and how people are going to be consuming media, how they're going to be consuming their content. And we feel like at Crackle, we're at the forefront of that, and we wanted to bring some of that information to you. So household penetration, what does it look like? As you can see, almost every person in the United States has the ability to connect or stream video via their television set and or smart TV and or PlayStation or Xbox or Apple TV or Roku, etc. It's a very connected world, and over 96% are utilizing this platform. Connected TVs lead all in-home streaming. As you can see right here, 54% are streaming through a connected TV, 44% using a computer, 19% using a laptop, and 15% utilizing their mobile phones to stream content. Where's this coming from a consumer perspective? So we actually asked consumers two questions. We said, what does your household look like now in terms of cable and satellite service, and how do you expect it to look 6 months from now? And as you can see, 80% of folks currently, as they sit right now, are using cable or satellite service. 20% are in that no category where they're only utilizing streaming or other devices for entertainment. And then, as you can see, what's really happening, or where the trend's really heading down the road, is 6 months from now, when we ask people to tell us what they think they're going to be doing with their service, you can see that it's drastically changing. People are either cutting back on traditional cable services, they're completely cutting their cords, and then when you start to couple that in with the existing cord cutters out there, you're talking about a potential of 30 to 40% of homes will no longer have a traditional cable service, making it very difficult to reach them through traditional TV models. Streaming is the second consideration in the evening. People are no longer looking at the TV lineup and then going directly to their DVRs. They're actually going to the TV lineup, and if they don't like what they see, they're going to open their streaming platforms. They're going to check out what's on Crackle. They're going to see what's going on with Netflix or Hulu. So as you can see, that as that trend is rising, people are definitely looking at streaming brand new content, appointment television, so to speak, rather than utilizing their DVR or their cable services. So we're excited about where that trend is headed. It's co-viewing. I mean, we all know that when you sit home or you get home from the office at the end of the day and you're watching whatever your favorite television show, whether it be on TV, on your tablet, or whether it be on a streaming platform such as a Netflix or a Crackle, you're watching it with your significant other, with your children, etc. These are co-viewing habits. People are doing this together. Huge audience potential, whether it be on traditional TV platforms or whether it be via a streaming model as well. This is actually pretty interesting. From users being open to ad-supported television, you can see that the red category represents free services such as Crackle. The middle category, the blue category, represents paid services, and then the last category actually represents free paid for each video by program or device. So the key takeaway here is no matter where you're watching the content, over 50% of users on all of these devices are open to watching ad-supported television if it comes to them for free, which is exactly what Crackle provides. So a little bit of a background on who we are. We like to consider ourselves the new network for the new living room. As you can see, we've got fantastic reach, over 30 million users as it currently sits. And what we actually really boast is an 87% ad completion rate, which is fantastic. Why is it so high? It's a completely free platform, no matter how you're watching it. Whether you're watching on your phone, on your tablet, on connected TV, on your laptop, it's completely free. And because of that, our users are willing to watch an ad or two because they feel like they're getting something of value from that content. And then lastly, everything is long form. We've got 30-minute TV shows, 2-hour movies, so everybody's spending a ton of time with our content. It's a huge library, and so almost 100 minutes per user per month, which is just huge in terms of engagement. So where do we sit in the video sandbox, so to speak? As you can see, it's broken up into 3 categories. We've got all of our short-form players up here to the left, the YouTubes, the ESPNs of the world, the quick ins and outs. You're just in for a quick watching a guy riding a skateboard, and then you're out of there. The middle of the road, the half-hour catch-up TV, as I like to call it, players. So I missed last night's episode of How I Met Your Mother. I'm going to go in and watch that episode. Still kind of a quick experience. You're in and then you're out. And then lastly, the category that we sit in the long-form content bucket, so to speak. So I'm going in to watch a complete television series, a long-form movie. As you can see here, that in this bucket, our biggest differentiator is that there are only 2 long-form content players out there right now in which you can buy advertising. It's Hulu and Crackle. But of those 2 competitors, only one is completely free across all devices, and only one boasts a 93% ad completion rate. So when you start talking about engagement, experience, being completely free, and then having an ad-supporting model or something that you guys can be a part of, we feel like we come out on top. So where do we sit in the landscape of the traditional TV model? As you can see here, in terms of unique viewers, online only, Crackle's at 6.1 million uniques each month, which is fantastic when you start putting us in a category of content players such as MTV, ESPN, CBS, guys that have been doing this for years. So we're right there with them. And then in terms of engagement, again, speaking to that engagement story, TV minutes per user at 74.5, blowing away the competition in terms of engagement and time spent. So we're excited about that. Distribution. You can literally find Crackle anywhere, whether it's going to be on your traditional online models, across mobile or tablets, connected TVs, gaming consoles, Apple TV, Roku, literally almost anything with an internet connection. You can access Crackle absolutely free. And then we'll be adding Chromecast and Amazon later this year. We just released our service in HD and Apple TV, and it looks fantastic. Programming. So everything on, like I said before, everything on our network is long form. So it's either half-hour television shows or 2-hour movies. We have over 1,600 hours of programming slated each month. And our biggest differentiator between us and some of our competitors is we're not a content aggregator. We're actually more like a content curator. So we are curating content specifically for our audience each month and refreshing that content every month so that they feel like there's always something new and exciting to come back and watch, and that they're not constantly digging through their search queue to find new titles. So every time you come back to the main engagement page of Crackle, you're going to find some new content, you're going to find something worth watching, and you're going to continue to come back several times throughout the month. So we're really happy about that. In terms of where the content is coming from, 65% of the content is produced by studios outside of the Sony Pictures umbrella. So we've got deals with MGM, Lionsgate, 20th Century Fox, etc., that we are licensing titles from. And then we're also licensing some of our own Sony movies, and then of course our original content and television shows as well that kind of make up our programming mix. Crackle audience, we're 55% male, so we consider ourselves male-leaning, although we're female inclusive. As we said before, whether it's a registered male user or whether it's a female, there's a big co-viewing story with all Crackle platforms. So whether you're sitting down with your significant other or your kids to watch a movie or a TV show, there's a big co-viewing story to talk about there as well. So I'd almost be willing to call it a 50-50 split in terms of audience. Median age is 32, pretty affluent. They've got buying power. They're tech savvy. All the things that you're looking for in an advertising target. So the reason we're here today, how can you partner with us? How can you work with Crackle? There's actually 3 umbrellas that I'm here to talk to you about. It's media, it's sponsorships, and it's original programming. Now, from a media perspective, at its simplest form, we offer pre-roll and mid-roll video ads, 15 or 30 second in nature, across any platform available to us. We offer the ability to target by platform and also to target our user base if there are certain demographics that you're interested in targeting. So it's in its very simplest form, it's video. It's targetable video, and it's across any platform that we have available. From a mobile perspective, the way that mobile breaks out for Crackle is it's almost a third of our traffic. Our users are very engaged in the mobile platform, whether it be the tablet or your traditional phone devices. We have fantastic ad opportunities across all of our mobile devices as well. Another great media partnership that we have, we actually partnered with Innovid to bring the C-Roll unit to the marketplace. This is about as innovative as it gets. So what it is it's actually an interactive ad unit that lives across every screen that's available to Crackle with the exact same interface. So essentially you're running an interactive rich media ad that runs on the desktop, which simultaneously will run all on mobile devices, and it will also live within connected devices. And what it is it's essentially a rollover that goes over your 30-second spot. That the user is either prompted to roll over that overlay, or they're prompted to click on it. And so once they do that, it opens a full screen rich media experience where they can interact with the product, watch a few photo galleries of that product. They can download a couple of videos to also view, and it's just a very interactive and engaging experience. And you can see the numbers kind of speak for themselves. This is something that we partner with Innovid in, and we build out completely as added value to you as part of your media spend with Crackle, and we will also ad serve it for you as added value with your media spend at Crackle. So very nice program, adding rich media to the mix, and as you can see, the numbers in terms of research speak for themselves. It's been very successful for our advertisers. So again, I spoke a little bit earlier about how we have access to all of the different avenues of Sony Pictures Entertainment. Our studios is one of those. When you're talking about big blockbuster movies such as Smurfs 3, the new James Bond, Hotel Transylvania, Amazing Spider-Man that's coming out this spring, which is going to be one of the big blockbuster movies of the summer. You are allowed, or we're able to leverage a spend with Crackle to help get involved with some of our studio production as well. I mean, these are typical advertisers spend in the $10 to $12 million range to be a part of these movies, to license them, to integrate within them, and to utilize them outside and from a marketing promotions perspective. we can literally offer you solutions with an ad spend through Crackle to help leverage a lot of these blockbuster movies for a tenth of the spend. So something that we're really excited to be able to offer as well. Another great opportunity to partner with Crackle would be like a watch list type environment. This is something we do where we curate specific titles, call it 6 to 8 titles that fit the mold or fit a watch list of what you would want, what you think your target audience would most like to watch, such as the True Bromance watch list that we created for Jack in the Box. As you can see, it kind of fits into that True Bromance title, such as Step Brothers or Talladega Nights or The Rum Diary. So we're able to cherry pick or curate titles that fit your audience best, and then create a sponsorship environment around those titles, and then offer them to you for an efficient spend. Original programming. So this is what I'm most excited about, and one of the things that made me want to come over and sell for Sony Crackle is the original programming. So the really cool thing, or our differentiator here, is that everything that we're producing here and bringing to the marketplace, we own, and it's owned by Sony Pictures Entertainment, which affords us the opportunity to integrate your brand within these titles, and as well as pass through distribution rights. So not only is your brand going to be integrated into the originals, we give you the opportunity to then take that original content and distribute it to the marketplace, put it in your social channels, run it within in-store locations or dealerships, and really take that integration and use it throughout the length of your sponsorship. So it's something that not a lot of a lot of publishers can bring to you. Something that kind of differentiates ourselves in the marketplace. We're going to be creating 8 to 10 original series in 2014, 50 additional hours of program than what we had in 2013. This is a big strategy for us, and our original content is actually going to continue to grow as we move into 2015. So it's something that we're really putting a stake in the ground with, and are going to continue to curate content as we move forward here. Again, this just speaks a little bit to what I said in terms of creating original content. We're going to have over 128 hours of original programming in our queue in 2014. When you start comparing that to the competition in the online space, we feel like we're doing pretty well, and that we have a lot of opportunities for advertisers to get involved. And then when you start to talk about original programming versus the traditional TV model, you can see we stack up pretty well against the networks that we consider are curated for the same audience as us. So Crackle curates its content along the same lines as an AMC, a TBS, or an FX. And for an online network that's 5 or 6 years old, we feel like we're doing pretty well against even our cable competitors as well. So what does that original programming look like? I'm sure you've all heard of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. Hopefully you all had a chance to see the Seinfeld and George stunt that aired in the halftime of the Super Bowl show, of Super Bowl, that was promoting the Howard Stern episode of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. It's been our most successful franchise to date. Jerry's a big partner of Sony Pictures Entertainment. We just completed season 3. We've actually got 2 more seasons that has been exclusively sold to Acura. They're very happy, and our goal is to take this model or this television show and extend that into other shows for other advertisers, such as Acura's done. Chosen, fantastic show. Chad Michael Murray is you guys might know from One Tree Hill. Stars in this show. The best way I could describe it is it's a 24 type thriller. The main character receives a box on their doorstep. In that box contains a gun and a picture, and says you essentially have 48 hours to eliminate this target. Otherwise, we will come after you and your family. And it kind of spirals off into a fast-paced thriller from there. We're excited that Rose McGowan is going to be on board for season 3, and we're attracting some really good talent. It's been a rousing success. We're shooting season 3 right now in Puerto Rico, which will launch later this year. Cleaners, another action-packed show starring Emmanuel Shrieky, as you may know well as Sloane from Entourage, and then Emily Osment. These are 2 female contract killers that find themselves in trouble as they suddenly go against their boss and decided to start working for the good guys and FBI agent David Arquette. So season 1 just finished. Season 2 is shooting right now and is actually slated to be released later this summer. Playing it forward. So we'll step a little bit away from the action titles for a minute and talk to you a little bit more about music and philanthropy. There's really 3 title genres that we're focusing on at this point. It's action, it's music, and it's comedy. We feel like those 3 genres fit our users best in terms of curation. Playing it forward, fantastic show, produced by Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey actually came to us and said he's very passionate about his biggest philanthropy, him and his wives, his music education in school. So he wanted to create a show that helped raise awareness for music education in school. And so what did we do? We created Playing It Forward. Essentially what it is the series of pop-up concerts around the U.S. that are impromptu and completely surprise to our users. So what we'll basically do is we'll say Adam Levine is going to fly to Chicago, and 2 hours before the show, we're going to have through social media and Twitter evangelize to our followers, and Adam will evangelize to his followers that, hey, I'm in Chicago, I'm playing a free show, stay tuned. And then maybe an hour before the show, we'll send out a tweet to our users, and he'll send out a tweet to his users that I'm playing at the corner of State and Lake in an hour, be there. And essentially we're hoping that the social media storm starts to flow, that people start to spread the word, and then eventually Adam Levine's going to get out of his car on the corner of State and Lake in Chicago and play a 6-song performance. We're going to interview him. We're going to interview Robert Downey Jr. We're going to cut it into a really nice 30-minute episode, and we're going to play that across the Crackle network. We actually launched our pilot episode with John Legend, which was a very successful show. It was sponsored by FedEx. We have Capital One on to sponsor another episode later this year. And there are several episodes available that we would like to create throughout 2014 that are available for sponsorship. Sequestered, jury duty room drama. So, essentially this is taking place in New York or New Orleans. And it is a drama behind the scenes, 12 jurors that have to be sequestered during a murder trial, essentially because there begins from outside forces, government officials, big businesses, corporations are getting heavily involved with jury tampering, threatening families of the jurors, threatening lawyers that are working on the cases, etc. And it kind of takes off from there. It's a 2-pronged story. It's inside the lives of the jurors. It's also inside the life of this upstart lawyer, very successful kid, but has a very big conscience and wants to make sure that while the people that he's representing may be on the wrong side of it, that they won't be allowed to get away with kind of the sinister things that they're planning to help push this jury. So it's going to be a fantastic show. We're going to release that. Two season or one full season and 6 episode hits later this fall. So we're excited about that. And then last but not least, really excited about this show, Crackle Live, kind of in the vein of Playing It Forward. This is going to be a show in that we are going to partner with 2 A-list artists and 4 emerging artists every quarter, and either bio that artist, we'll bio and then stream live their concerts, which we think could be very, very exciting. And then we'll create a library of these shows, as well as snackable content pieces, interviews, bios, what have you, of these artists within this Crackle Live channel that will be living within the overall Crackle.com site. We're very excited to offer up integrations, sponsorship opportunities, artist partnerships. All of that will be available with this sponsorship, or with this show. I'd like to thank you all for coming out today, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you.